Back. If you're working with ServiceNow as an admin or developer, this video is going to save you a ton of time. Today we're diving into background scripts and some powerful admin tricks that you need to know. So what are background scripts? Background scripts are server-side scripts that you can run instantly in ServiceNow without creating a business rule or script include. Think of them as your quick command center for testing, fixing, or updating data. So where to find them? So essentially you can navigate to system definition, scripts, dash, background, and this will take you to a console that you can essentially run your scripts on. Now, this is important. You need admin role to access this. If you don't have it, you won't see it. So before we delve into the console itself and where we run the scripts, let's go over our first admin trick. So essentially you can bulk update records. So you can use background scripts to update multiple records at once. You could also do it manually and update in bulk, and I've got a video about that. However, one key thing about background scripts is essentially you can write a line of script here that prevents business rules, flows, and notifications from essentially triggering. So if you do need to do something that is essentially discrete and doesn't kick off a bunch of updates and notifications to users, background script will be the best scenario to use for updating bulk records. So let's copy this script and let's go over background script. So I'm just going to go back to the home page just to showcase how I got to that console. So if I type in background, I can see on the system definition, scripts, background, and over here I'm just going to paste this code. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about this code and essentially what it's doing. So we're querying all the active incidents, and essentially while we find an incident, keep looping through them via our while gr.next, and essentially change the short description of those incidents to update it via background script. In line 7, as I talked about, we're setting the workflow to false, which means that this will prevent business rules, flows, and notifications. Now, you want to use this in certain scenarios. It depends if you want notifications to go out. So if you're essentially updating additional comments or work notes, you might not want that to go out when you're, say, updating work notes. But if you updating additional comments, you probably do want that to go out. So it really does depend on what you're doing. Do you need business rules to run, flows, notifications? So then and then we update our record and that will essentially do it. So now I want to showcase this live, but essentially how could I know that it actually changed before and after? So within the script we could essentially write a few lines of code. So for this scenario I'm just going to remove this setWorkflow. I just wanted to talk about it. But essentially what I want to showcase here is we're going to do a gs.print. We're just going to say before get gr.number, and basically what we're running here is just a way to kind of log what is happening. So we need to make sure we get our syntax right. So before plus gr.number, which is our variable, then colon, and then we're going to do description, and just make sure there's a space there. Okay, and then we do short description. Okay, and then that should do it. So before gr.number, short description, and then short description. So before, let's just have this number. Just try to make this a bit neater. Right, so before number, short description, great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and essentially do that after here. Okay, so first things first, if we just comment out gr update for now, we can essentially run this without updating records. So it's always good to just do these simple checks to make sure your workflow's working, and then you might want to set limit and essentially update one. We'll talk about that trick in a moment at the end of the video. And now let's run script. So essentially, as we can see here, we've got some incidents that have background script 2, and then after my change, essentially, we can see that it will be background script. Now, it hasn't actually updated anything, but it shows the change here. So let's do one more test just to showcase this. What I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go find an incident and change the short description. Okay, so let's use this one as an example, and I'm just going to go and write this test. Okay, one of our client scripts that we did in a previous video working. So test access issue. Let's try. Right, okay, so now if I now keep this the same on this, what we're going to see here, right, test access issue, you can see this is the before, and then essentially if we go and find that number 9009, let's show, there we go. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I was looking for after, but I basically did change this, and that way this will now show before and after, so you can see essentially what would happen after. One other trick here, we could essentially set limit, so we're getting a lot here, so let's see if we just did something like set limit 5 on the script. I can see it's only brought back 5. So let's just go and update 5 for now. So we're just going to change this, and we're going to run this, and we can see that 5 instances were updated, and essentially I can see here before, after, right, and if I just go to the instance itself, I can see updated via background script. Great. So let's go over the second admin trick. So we want to look to clean up data. So essentially remove wanted all records. So if I copy this, go back, right, you just paste this here. Essentially, what we're looking for is any incidents where they're closed. We want to essentially delete them. Now, I just want to showcase the delete records. It most likely won't be essentially a requirement that you'd have to do, but I just want to very quickly show how we can delete those records. So let's set a limit for this one because I want to delete all records. So let's do 2, for example, right? And essentially, we could essentially print out before we delete it. So let's do a quick. So I'm going to put in number plus number, and that should just, and before we actually delete the record, let's print out what we got. Okay, so we're going to look to delete these 2 records, right? So just to showcase this working, if I go to incidents, right. Okay, so we're gonna look to delete this record here, right? So what I'm gonna do now, if I just go back to my background script, and I uncomment delete record, let's run the script. We can essentially here it's deleted 2 incidents, and now if I go to this and try to refresh, record cannot be found. Okay, so that was one trick to clean up data. Now this action is not really reversible. You can actually undelete it, but it's always validate your query before execution. If you're deleting it, it's best to essentially act as if it is reversible, because there are some actions that are irreversible. You could restore the record, but some of the changes that essentially occurred from that, it could have an impact. So yeah, always make sure you check before deleting records. Okay, quick data check. So you can use scripts to quickly inspect and debug data. So we kind of did a bit of that in our first trick just to kind of showcase it, but let's just look at running this script and showcase this one. So this essentially what we're doing here, we're just looking at incidents, we're getting setting the limit to 5, and then we're just going to print out essentially the number and short description. And essentially what we do here is we get the first 5 that it found essentially. And if I just go and comment out the gs set limit, it will bring me back everything. And we can see here we also got our updated via background scripts. Great. Right, last trick I just want to show. So essentially you could fix data issues. So essentially you can fix fields essentially you want to update. So let's talk about that a little bit. So let's say over here we're looking at all incidents, and really anything that's our impact 1, we just want to go and change it to impact 2. So essentially if I run this script here, so what we're doing, finding impact 1, looping through it, change it to 2, and then updating it. Now I'm just going to run the script, and essentially you can see here it's updated 10 incidents. So if I go to the instance, I can see here these document IDs essentially got changed, and if I just go to that, I can see that essentially impact is now 2. If I go to see one that's open, I can see the impact is 2 as well. And we can see here that essentially based on the log, it was high, we changed it to 2, and based on that out of the box business rule, the priority has changed as well. Okay. Right, safety tips. Do not run scripts in production without testing. Always make sure you're testing the scripts beforehand in a subprod instance, and then also when you're running in pod, just do the set limits, do the printouts, make sure you know what the script is going to do beforehand, and then essentially execute when you're comfortable and confident. Avoid large queries without filters. Essentially, I think there is a timer around. It will kind of run in the background for 4 hours, but essentially you probably just want to ensure that it doesn't time out. So ensure you keep it as condensed as possible. Always validate your logic before execution. Test scripts in development environment first. We touched base on that. Some pro tips that we've already covered, and just want to remind us, you can use setLimit to safely test scripts. You can use the gs.print or gs.info for debugging, as we've done a few of that before change and after change. Wrap logic in your conditions to prevent unintended updates, and use background script for quick fixes, not long-term solutions. That's a wrap. Let's just recap what we talked about. So background scripts are a powerful tool for ServiceNow admins and developers. When used correctly, they can significantly improve efficiency in managing and maintaining data. It's always follow best practices and test thoroughly to avoid any unintended impacts. And that's how you use background scripts in ServiceNow like a pro. If this helped, hit a like, subscribe for more ServiceNow tips. Please let me know if you want to see anything else, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you. Bye.